geography, this is what you don't know, my folks. The geography of the ring. We have to know that ropes are good, but corners are better. Today's video, I'm going to talk about how to cut the distance and cut off the ring against a guy that has the height and reach over you, maybe has some hand speed over you, and as a shorter boxer, you want to be able to cut the distance and get on the inside and fight into close quarters, where it's going to be more favorable for you, and the other guy's not going to be able to use his height and reach advantages and use the distance that he has and be able to use the speed that he might have as well. And I'm going to bring in my boxer Danny Bodish to demonstrate. Okay, so just to go over, there's much detail to cutting off this ring, more than I've seen in other videos that I've watched when people talk about cutting off the ring. And I want to break it down and really teach it to you today. So you got, Danny's the smaller fighter, so he would want to cut the ring off on me. I'm the taller boxer. Maybe I would have, if I had more hand speed than him, he's going to be, like I said, it's going to be more favorable for him to fight in close quarters. So right now I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to let him demonstrate cutting the ring off on me, but I want to talk about the footwork. When you're doing the footwork of cutting off the ring, if he would move to the right, I want to move, I'm in my stance, and when he moves to the right, I want to step to the right and then over with the left. And when I move over with the left, I'm stepping forward with the left. So I'm going to step over with the right and up with the left. And then I can bring my right foot up again. So it's, in other words, it's moving, I'm moving right, left up, right in. So I'm getting closer, okay? When he moves to the left, I'm going to move diagonal with this left. So I'm going to move up and over with the left hand, with the left foot. Up and over, and then the right comes, okay? When he moves to the right, up, over, and then in again. So now if you can see, we did that 4 times, once, twice, I'm sorry, 3 times. You see that I cut the distance with that. But we all wish it was that easy. So I'm going to show you the footwork on this, and in the end of the video, I'm going to show you another way on how you can cut off the ring with footwork that Mike Tyson and Henry Armstrong and a select few of guys use shifts and switches to cut off the ring. But right now we're going to go with how a right-hander would cut off the ring against a right-hander, okay? So, or a left-hander would cut off the ring against a left-hander. Or a right-hander, you could cut this, if you're a southpaw and you're fighting a right-hander, or if you're a southpaw, if you're a right-hander and you're fighting a southpaw, you could also cut off the ring this way. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to let Danny do the cutting off now. Okay, so the key components, like I said, number 1 is the footwork. If I'm moving left, see how he did that? He stepped over with the right, then up with the left, and then up with his right again. So now when I move to the right, he's going to step diagonal. He's moving that way. I move left, he's going that way. I move right, he's gaining ground. He's gaining ground. Okay, so for the smaller fighter, he wants to get the guy on the ropes or the corners. And like I always say, ropes are good, but corners are better. If I'm in a corner, I have, because the advantage that I have in the middle of the ring as a taller fighter is being able to, if I'm in the middle of the ring, I can always have space to do what I want to do. I can have an angle here, I can have an angle here. I can have a lot of those things, okay? And I'm going to be able to counterpunch, I'm going to be able to score on him because I have the longer reach. And if I have more speed, I really got an advantage. So he wants to fight in close quarters. So when you're in the corners, I don't have no angles to go to, okay? I go here, he's got me. I go here, he's got me, okay? I have nowhere to go back. I can't step back and drop, drop step and throw right hands at him because I'm really all the way, I have nowhere to go. And he's going to be, where he wants to be is inside of my reach. So he wants to be as in tight or he wants to be inside of my reach. Okay, so how does he get there? How does he make that happen? Okay? It's easier said than done because cutting off the ring with just footwork is only one component. The other component is he has to come at me when I'm moving, because if he's just moving his feet, I could hit him and be right back out. I could score punches, and I could score on him, and I could go where I want to go. But if he's using other components, that's going to make it more difficult for me to pick him off coming in, would be one, his head movement. So while he's moving his feet that way, he's got to also be moving his head. Okay? So that's one component. So I don't know where to hit him. Okay? So the second thing would be for him to use feints. If he's using feints, he's keeping me guessing. He's going to keep me pausing. And while I'm pausing, he's making forward progress to get me to the ropes, okay, or to get me in a corner. The other component is investing in the body, okay? Because if he goes and he throws a headshot, he could throw a headshot on me, I could slip and I could get out. He throws a right hand at me, I could slip and I can get out. The body does not move like the head. So it's about an investment. It's about putting money in the bank to get what you want that's going to pay dividends down the road, okay? So he's going to go and he's going to work those feints. He's going to move his head and he's going to try to keep on sticking me in the body. And when I talk about the body, it doesn't all the time. A lot of times guys like Floyd Mayweather does a great job. He always did jab to the body beautifully. Andre Ward, these guys, they know how to do it. But it's not always just about going all the way down here. You can also hit the guy in the solar plexus, in the sternum, right in the chest. That's not moving. So all those shots, all those spots are good. This whole body is a target, okay? Not just the lower body, not just the stomach. So while he's moving his feet the way he's going to move his feet. So now we're in the middle of the ring, and I start to try to move to the left. Danny's cutting off while he's moving his head. He's feinting at me. He's feinting me. Now, see? I got to go this way. Now, see? Okay. Now he's got me right where he wants me. Okay, now, my thing is I'm going to try to score and get out of there. He's got to get inside the reach again a little bit. So he could move his head with a bob and a weave. Okay? He can use a slip. And when he slips, he's jabbing. He's going to put money in the bank. He's going to go to my body, okay? The worst thing that you want to do is when you do all this work to get a guy in the corner on the ropes is just to throw a big right hand at him or something, okay? And now I get out and I'm out and he has to start all over again. So what he wants to do is to create that power right hand. And he can dig power shots to the body, like I said. And this breaks a fighter down, especially in pro fights, and you're fighting, 6, 8, 10 rounds. Going to the body is just, like I said, it's like putting money in the bank. You're making an investment that it's going to pay out bigger down the road. So when you're going to the body there, and he's hitting me in the body, he wants to be inside of my reach, or he wants to be in closer. The key is when he's in closer, he can get grabbed, right? So one of the things that you got to know when you're boxing, it's like, again, it comes down to the foundation that I'm always talking about. You want to have this weight on that back leg. If he leans to me, if he's leaning to me, I'm going to grab him easier. Or if he's lean to me, I could just take this arm and turn him and get out, okay? Or if he leans to me, I could take his waist. These are all outs. This elbow makes the guy's whole body turn. If I go here and I go down here and I grab him around the hip, I can slip down here, grab him around the hip and get out. Anytime he leans like that, I'm going to be able to get my hand on him and be able to turn him. If I get a guy's hip, I turn him, he's going, see? He could be here and he leans, I could go and get right out. See, so the key is that he got to keep that weight on his back foot. Now I go back to why Gennady Golovkin was so effective in cutting off the ring when he first came over here, is that his stance was like what I'm talking about. And as he trained here, his foundation deteriorated. Okay, it deteriorated, and he started to lean. And then he became easier to hit. He had a harder time cutting off the ring. Guys were keeping the fight more in the middle of the ring, and they were hitting him with counter shots. He was better at cutting off the ring because he always had that ability that ability to have a little step back. So in other words, you're on the inside and you got that, if you're leaning, I can grab you easier. But see, if you're here and I go out to grab you, you can slide back, see? You can do that little slide back. Those little fine details right there make you a better fighter. See, if he gets in there tight and he's got here, if he grabs me, he can go down, and because he's got that weight there, so he can go down and he can get away. See? If he leans to me, I got a better thing. He can't get away nowhere near as easy. And like I said, by that time, I'm going to turn him, and I could even put him in the corner. So the foundation is when he's in here, he's in tight, he's got me in here. Okay, now, one of the biggest mistakes a guy can make as a right-hander is if I try to tie him up for him to pivot to his right, okay, and then I'm going to get out, okay? So in other words, one of the ways to get away from a tie-up is like if I had his arms like this, okay, and I'm tied him up, is for him to go down and to the right. See that? See what he did? He made that angle. Why down and to the right and why not down to the left? I'm going to explain why. Because if he goes down and he goes to the right, he's letting me out. And then he got to start all over again. Okay? If he goes down and to the right, I can get out that way, but guess what? This is his lead hand. So it's closer to me. So he's going to be able to be right on top of me again. So in other words, it's just like this. If I got him, even if I had his head and he goes down and he gets out, then I start to move this way, he's got me. He's got me with the hook. He's got me with the hook because that's his lead hand. So he got me, see? So you don't want to do all this work. The guy ties you up and you make a pivot and go this way. And the guy gets out. You know what I mean? So, or he could just slide a little step back because he's got his foot back. So like I said, it's like just like dropping your weight back. You throw the football. He could just drop back and hit me with an uppercut. Boom. Again, an uppercut. Because you're on the inside and you're in tight, like I said, you can hit a guy with any punch. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you want to create that sure shot. You want to be able to create that punch. So when you're in there, what are some of the best shots that you know have a high percentage of landing? It's going to be all the body shots, okay? It's going to be your uppercuts, okay? If you're in tight, you could throw something over the top to create it, you know what I mean? But my whole thing is you have to be in tight, and at the same time, if I'm a really good fighter and I'm using a roll or I slip real nice, and if he throws an overhand right at me, I could roll it and then get out, okay? So he's got to learn how to create that. So again, it's like I said, if he throws it and roll it, okay, and I could roll it and I could get out, okay? I could roll it and I could get out, especially if he's throwing it from a further distance. Throw it, okay? So he did all that work to get me to this point, and then I just roll out. See, just like that. That's it. See? So I'm just going to roll out. If he throws a big hook, okay, I could just bow at the waist and get out. See, a guy throws a big hook, I could just bow at the waist and get out, okay? I could just bow at the waist and get out. So he wants, before he's going to throw those right hands and left hooks to the head, he wants to put money in the bank, create the opening, and be in closer range, okay? And if the guy grabs him, like I said, that's what you can do. So now let's talk about, when we're cutting off the ring, the geography of the ring. And knowing where you are, and knowing your geography of the ring, and knowing where you are and what you're trying to do. Like when you're trying to cut off the ring and you're trying to get guys in the corner and the ropes, you have to think short-term, long-term. So in other words, let's say Danny's right here at this part of the, or let's say he's right in this corner here, and he's about right here, okay? Now, I got him on the ropes here, okay? Or let's do it for this purposes, like I said, he's got me on the ropes, okay? Because I'm the taller guy, he's trying to cut the distance on me, and he's got me on the ropes. Now, he should know his geography of the ring. He should know that he's closer to this corner than he is that corner. So, like I said, ropes are good, but corners are better. So when he's working me, what he wants to do is he's going to try to work that angle like that, because my move to get away is going to be here, where he can push me into the corner. What he would do if he starts to always dip this way and work this side of the ball, I could spin out and get out. Okay? So he's got to know. Again, I'm going to go over another style. I'm going to show you with the Tyson style and the Henry Armstrong how what they did would change even what I'm saying right here, and change the outcome of what I'm saying if he dipped this way, and I stepped and rolled out. Okay? But for right now, what I want to show is, like, that's what I'm saying. So if I'm in this position right here, if I'm in this position and he wants to work me, and he wants to angle that way, he does not want me to go this way, because I can get out easier if I'm going to go that way. So he's trying to push me to this corner. Okay? So his whole thing is jab, and angle that way, pivot that way. Now, let's say I try to get out, he's got it right on me. He could be right on me. And he just trapped me there. Now, if we're in the middle of the ropes, okay, now we're in the middle of the ropes. So now you're saying, well, we're neutral. What would you do any different? You wouldn't do anything any different, because if I'm neutral, you would say, well, you're just as close to both corners. But the big key is that if I go this way, and he's staying right-handed, this right hand has a further distance to travel, okay? And I could use my shoulder roll, and I could get away from that, see? I could use my shoulder roll, and I could get away from the right hand, and I could get back to the middle of the ring where I really want to be, okay? So my thing is if I'm Danny, I still want to angle, when I'm working the guy, I still want to angle this way, because you want the guy to go that way, because this hand is closer. This is where you're going to be able to cut the distance easier and get to the guy. This has got to travel further. So that's a big component right there, okay? Anything closer to this corner, you're going to push him to that corner. How do you do it? Okay, how you do that, and the best way to do that is, like I said, if he's always throwing a headshot at me, if he threw a straight right hand, I could slip and I could get out and I could get back to the middle, okay? So when you're trying to push a guy in the corner, like I said, we're trying to cut off the ring, and we're trying to get a guy to the corners is our ultimate goal, okay? So if we're in this position, we want to try to get that guy in that corner. So we're not going to go for a headshot. See, if he threw a left hook at me, I could get under and go out at the head if he's throwing for the head. So what I'm trying to get at is we're going to throw body shots to make this happen, okay? We're going to throw body shots to make this happen. So he wants to stop me from going this way, okay? Because I have a lot more room going to my right. So one of the things he can use, and you can refer to my body shot combinations and strategy video, and you can watch these punches that I'm going to show you right now on that video. So what he could do is, like I said, if I'm going this way, he could just throw a left hook to my body, to push me this way and go into that corner. But better yet, what he can do, like I said, my body's not moving. My head can move very easily and get out. But if he goes to my body, and at the same time he goes to my body, he has the footwork where he throws that left hook to the body and he swoops that way. Now automatically, by him shifting his body, he shifts that way when he throws that. Now I'm in this position, okay? If I try to go this way, he could just come back and hook me to the head. So my instinct, when he makes that angle move, my instinct is going to be to move here. Now he's got me right in the corner by doing that, see? So watch that one more time. When he goes to my body, he goes here and he shifts. So that's it. Now he's got me, okay? If I'm going this way and he sees I'm going to try to move that way, that's it. He could do that movement all at once. So I'm trying to go this way to get out. See, now he's there. So my instinct is going to be to move that way. Okay? Same thing if you got a guy who's here, he could what he wants to do is he wants to go and shift that way. See? Now he angles me, and I'm going to go that way. That's going to be my instinct to go to that corner because he shifted and he cut that off. So if I'm here, okay, and I'm going to try to go that way, the move he's going to make is there. See? And then I'm going to instinctively go that way because what he's going to do, what you want to do, like I said, when he goes this way, you want to try to, the way Danny was doing was good, but what you want to try to do, and you're in this position, you want to put him in this corner. So you're working, like I said, jab to the body. You want to go here. You want to get as close to those ropes so you cannot get out. So he's going here. You're going to shift this way. Now he's in the corner, okay? So if you do that, you watch how we do that. When I try, that's it. See, he wants to cut that off, so I can't get through there. So I'm here, and I'm trying to go this way. That's it. Now he's got, that's it. Now he's got me. That's it. Okay? Same thing with this side again. When he does it, he wants to get his body torqued that way. Now if I tried to get out, it'd be here, okay? Then let's say I got to this point where I almost got out again. He could use that one to get me back in. See? So it could be two little shifts right there. Let's say if he cuts this corner off with this move, and I go here and I try to start to get out, then now he's got me there. So the takeaway from what we were doing there is to know that when you get a guy close to the ropes and close to the corners, and you, like I said, the ultimate goal is to put him in the corner, you want to go for the body, okay? You want to go for the body because if you go for the head, a guy can slip. The head moves, the body doesn't, okay? So these shots, like I said, I'm going to show on Danny myself. If when I throw this body shot right here, his body's not moving, okay? So, and then when I do that, like I said, when I did that video on body combinations and strategies, this is one of the strategies that you can use this move because I'm trying to get him here. So why do I use this move? And in that video, I talked about how when you brought the arm out, you could go up the middle, okay? But see what happens when you shift this way, he instinctively, I cut this angle off, he's got to go that way, okay? So now I'm backing him into the ropes. If he tries to back into the corner, if he tries to get this way and I shift, and at the same time I'm shifting, I'm throwing that punch and I'm hitting him. I could hit him in the arm even, or I could hit him behind the elbow. But what I'm doing is I'm throwing that shot. So that punch has some steam on it. At the same time, I'm throwing it, boom. I'm turning him. Now I could come up the middle. Like I said, in that video, I talked about how you create outside shots to come up the middle. But those shots are also cut-off punches. He tries to go this way on me, I cut it off, okay? He tries to go this way on me, I cut it off. He's over here, and he tries to get out this way on me, I cut it off, okay? So those shots are cut-off moves and cut-off punches that are very effective at using it to cut off the ring and get guys in the corners. Now, like I was saying, to show you what Mike Tyson and Henry Armstrong and these guys used to do, they used to use shift and switches. So no matter what you did, they could be on top of you. They could be on top of you. No matter what you did, they could be on top of you. Okay, so if I'm here, and let's say Danny dips, throw the left hook to the body on me to throw here, and I decide I'm going to go that way because I see I can get out. I try to go out this way. He just switches with that right hand, and he's on top of me. Mike Tyson would always use a big right hook and just put you right back to the ropes. So in other words, he's here, and he dips to the body, boom, I try to get out, boom, Tyson's right back on you, okay? Now he's working you to this corner. Yeah, he worked you to that corner, okay? So now, let's say he dipped this way, and I wanted to go this way, he would just switch his feet there, and he's back to being an orthodox. He's an orthodox fighter now, see? Henry Armstrong would do the same thing, the great Henry Armstrong. He was constantly shifting and switching his feet and coming in there with those shift and switches like that. Tyson would do it very, very subtle, and a lot of times you didn't see these guys, you know, the way their feet was basically, like I said, Mike a lot of times he would get you here, you know, and he would be a little bit more squared up, so he could get to neutral. I mean, he was at neutral, and then he would get to a little bit, he'd have one foot in front of the other a little bit, and he didn't have to make a huge shift, okay? Because he didn't have to make a huge shift because he wasn't going from all the way the right-handed all the way left-handed, okay? He was doing that. He's a little bit more neutral. So was Henry Armstrong. So let's say Mike liked that shot, like we said, with a little switch step. He would slip his head and he'd throw a right hook to the body, right uppercut. And if you move this way, he'd turn right-handed and just switch his feet, just rearrange his feet a little bit, and he would be orthodox, right-handed again, and be able to get you. Okay? So that's what those guys did that made them very unique. They knew how to switch and shift their feet. Let's say you had him in the corner. He had you in the corner, and maybe he threw a right hand, and the guy slipped it, and the guy tried to get out. Mike would just switch, boom, boom, boom. So he would just switch so he could throw that hole. He would shift those feet and switch those feet. So again, it would look like this. Let's say he slips, and that's what he would do. Okay. So like in other words, if I shift here and I'm going to try to pivot out like that, he would switch. See? So he could stay on me. Okay, so he could stay on me and keep me on the ropes. Okay? Let's say I threw a right hand, he threw a right hand at me and I shoot the shoulder roll and I tried to do it. He would do the same thing. He'd switch here. That's it. So he would switch. If he doesn't switch, throw the right hand, then I can get out. Going over the components of cutting off the ring. Again, because there's a couple more that I didn't include that I want to include. Is that when you're cutting off the ring, some of the great guys that knew how to cut off the ring were guys that knew how to parry punches and block punches, okay? Because, again, like I said, a lot of times if you're always slipping the punch, okay, a guy can bring the punch back, he can move, he can recoil the punch. If I throw a right hand, he just slips it, and I can get out, okay? If he parries it, see, now it's going to take me more time to recoil. So while it's taking me more time to recoil, he can make forward progress at getting in the inside, okay? I throw the right hand and he parries it, he can get in. If he just slips it, I'll bring it back quicker and then I can reposition another angle, okay? So blocks and parries. So when you're cutting off the ring, it's going to be more beneficial to use more parries and more blocks than it is slips, okay? When you're a shorter fighter, like Julio Cesar Chavez, he could slip, don't get me wrong, he could slip and roll, he could do a lot of stuff, and he moved his head, and he did a lot of things. But he also, with those rolls and slips, like someone asked before, why do you parry if you're slipping at the same time? It's because the punch is not able to be recoiled as quick. Okay, so he's still slipping and positioning himself to counter. So, in other words, like I said, if I throw a right hand and he parries that, he could throw it, he could gain ground, he could throw a hook to the body, hook to the head, he could throw a hook, he throw a right hand off of it. Okay, same thing here. When I'm trying to jab him, he's parrying shots. See what he did to me? Now, what he just did, do that again, Danny. So, see, that made me, he cut distance because my jab recoiled and I had to bring it back. If he just slips it, I can bring it back. See, he can make me miss, but I'm able to get distance again. See, but now if he's using his head movement, he's feigning, okay, he's feigning and he's jabbing me to the body. Now I'm going to have a harder time picking him off. If he's parrying those punches, see, yeah, that's it, see? So he's coming at me with all of those. He's got to parry the punches, both hands, parrying punches, and I'm trying to jab him. See, see my punch that goes that way. Now it's harder for me to, see, right hand, see, and jabbing to the body and moving his head and feinting. That's it. Now, if we're here and I'm going this way, if I'm going this way, he's cutting it off at the same time. Going this way, he's cutting it off. He's cutting it off. See? That's what he wants to do. And now he's got me. See? If I move this way and I slide this way, he's cutting it off. That's it. And that's what see, when he's hitting me in that body, it's very difficult for me to get away. Because he's pushing me and he's hitting me in that body. So one more demonstration on that. Like I said, if I'm moving left, he can cut it off here. If I'm moving right, he can cut it off here. And at the same time he's moving, he's faking, see? See, and me, I'm trying to hit him. See how he just parried that off? Well, that parry right there got him in. I tried to get him off me. He's caught, I see, and I threw a jab, and that parry cut it off. If you watch that real steadily, it took me more time to recoil it, and I wasn't able to hit him. So I'm moving left, I'm moving right. That's it. See, so he's got me. See, he's very good at cutting that ring off. Very good at cutting that ring off because he's given me, like I said, all the components. Component number 1, footwork. Component number 2, head movement. Component number 3, incorporating blocks and parries. Component number 4, fakes, right. Component number 5, jab into the body somewhere, okay? So those 5 components are major keys to cutting off the ring to be effective. So go into the gym this week, practice that. Remember the 5 components of cutting off the ring. It's not just footwork. So watch the footwork first. That's what you want to break down first. Then put the other components in. And that's how you become a master at cutting off this ring. Make sure you comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.
Perfect.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.